The Perth Racing Preview is where the Straight Up team finds you the winners, and here's the Straight Up team with their preview of Saturday racing from Ascot.
Oh, McGinnity, you're back. How are you, my man? Hey?
Oh, Mart.
Straight from watching Netflix docos. Hey.
He was a bad man. Vince McMahon.
Oh, was that one, was it?
He reminded me a bit of yourself, actually. I reckon you two might have had very similar 80s and 90s periods.
Probably. I think I'd be well on him. Big Vinny. He certainly had a good time. Rolls, you're back. We've got you working. Yes, you've got to send out all the social media stuff.
Oh, they multitasking here at all times, Mark, as you know.
That's what it's like. There's
text line's just starting to fire up now.
Here we go. 0427789571 for Retrovision.
Hey, Mark, can I just rock up to the BHT on Friday the 15th for the Pub Tab Roadshow and sip a pint in the background, or do I need to book a table? That's from Greg L.
You can do either. You can book a table or you can just rock up, but you don't have to pay anything. It's all free. We put on the show for nothing.
Have I missed something here? What's
Racing on the road. Now, we announced it yesterday. The first show will be at the Broken Hill on the 15th.
Oh.
Friday week. Everyone's involved. McGinnity's involved. McGinnity was good enough to get Mundaring Hotel. Ian Butch O'Connor on the team.
Beautiful.
Thanks for the leg up there.
Yeah, I think I volunteered people without volunteering myself. But
You might be roped into every show because we have to get the market movers and all. It's very important.
Yeah, all right.
Good to have Butchie on board.
Yeah.
Well, very exciting week for Butchie as well.
Yes, he's got Yonga Lass back in the Asian Beau Stakes. How big's it going to be out there on Saturday?
Oh, phenomenal. I think everyone's excited about Saturday. I haven't spoken to a person who isn't excited about Saturday, Mark.
Prince of Wales Stakes, Placid Arc Prelude. Just goes on and on. How'd you go there?
Couple of very nice little lead-ups too.
How did you go last Saturday, Irish Day? You would have loved it out there, would you?
I wasn't there.
Oh, you didn't go? No.
I was there.
You thought that was me in a leprechaun suit?
I thought you were one of the people being escorted off the track.
Yes.
I've never seen so many empty pint glasses before race one.
Except for Mark's lounge room.
Mark doesn't drink out of pint glasses.
We used to, but unfortunately we can't do it at the moment. But that's another story. So I was talking to James Oldring and I said, geez, you'd like Irish Day every week, wouldn't you? Tongue in cheek, he said, no, thank you very much. Not when I have to start getting them off the course as well. But it was all good humoured. Looked fantastic. Young crowd. Great racing.
Yes.
Certainly was.
Yes.
Certainly was.
Okay.
Last week's episode was the best one yet. Hope Mart had a few good mocktails on Northern Cup Day. Condolences to Bradley. Don't think anything serious happened, but can't be easy having to use the stool to see above the desk. Nonetheless, pricing like a champion. That's from Dutchie.
Mart?
Yes.
How was Northern Cup?
Look, I double booked myself, right? And
Duppy's still waiting out the front for his lift.
we double booked ourselves there and ended up at the Broken Hill Hotel. There was a prior engagement there, so we had a fantastic Psycho Sister sort of a day there. It was fun. Thanks for that one. $26. It wasn't Mart, it was Brad of Maylands who scooped the pool there. Yes.
Hasn't been seen since.
Funny enough, he is driving his way in a convoy across the Nullarbor. That lunatic. Now, what could possibly go wrong?
That's
somewhere between Sejuna and Norseman as we speak.
Bit more peace and quiet on the text line this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Weather track and rail out there on Saturday. So the weather's about to turn for Saturday.
Is it?
Yes.
News to me.
Yeah.
I thought maybe a couple of little showers in the morning was what I was working on. That southwesterly that's been pretty much in every Saturday so far since we returned to Ascot. 25 to 35 kilometres forecast during the day. Rail goes out to the 8-metre position. Leaders will be punching into the breeze down the back, similar to last week. If anything, Brad, you probably want to be off the speed with a little bit of cover.
Definitely.
Fair?
We'll see.
Oh, you're an on-pace man until
I'm always until, yeah. The thing about wind is it's not
when
constant.
When I say off speed, I more mean you don't want to be the one doing all the bullocking work punching into the breeze.
It doesn't seem to have been a good spot to be at Ascot or leading, or on the rail. It all hasn't really been great, but that could just be for other reasons.
As you're listening to Straight Up, Riley Morgan and Bradley McGinnity in the studios, and we look at Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap, the first on Saturday of the 1600 metres, and Tony Spirit 9 to 8.50 after opening at 4.60. Ace Command 41.31. 3 Pull the Trigger 270 265. 4 Date with the Devil 330 440 420. 5 Frappuccino is 11 into 650. 6 War Matters 9 into 6. 7 All About the Crackers 23 to 26. Amazing Cheat 14 16 15. Canny Jack 21 23 17.
Mart. Some, how do you word it? The double long range meerkat? Just get out of the way early.
They're very rare.
Very rare. And when they turn up in race 1, we get concerned. War Matters, some very sharp money early. 300 at the $9. Another 200 at the $9. More money at the 750. Frappuccino, Riles.
You a Frappuccino man, Bradley?
Sure.
With hazard on almond.
Heavy. Prefer, place betting large, win betting large, double figures in. So that's been a pretty big go. Eastern States Pros as well getting involved, even at as short as sort of $8 and $7 there for Frappuccino. So that's a good go.
One of yours and mine in here, Marty, with Date with the Devil.
Yes, we're on it.
For Grant and Alana. Gets a 1.5 pull the trigger for a length defeat last start, and I think was unlucky with the run that he had not to have finished even closer. I think up to the mile he can turn the tables. It was just waiting to see what this map looked like, obviously with Frappuccino dual nommed for Northam today and also for this race on Saturday, thinking that maybe if he was to come out, that Pike could lead with pull the trigger and be really aggressive from barrier 1. But now that Frappuccino is in, I'd anticipate that they just let him roll forward and roll along. I think he's going to be at his best when they allow him to do so. I think Date with the Devil looks a nice enough price at the $4.20 currently on offer. I've got respect for War Matters. Stepping up from a maiden, is still a maiden, but I thought he was huge from off the speed in that very fast run, 1,500 metres, Brad, behind Diamond Dancer, who clearly has much better than maiden class ability.
Concur. With you gentlemen about Date with the Devil getting out to a really nice, attractive price. One that's just, I mean, you've seen the big drift. It's a bit of a forgotten horse up the top, Tony Spirit. The money's coming from horses that haven't won maiden races yet. And Tony Spirit's going around at near double figures for a horse that obviously would prefer it a little bit longer, but second up at the mile, has some serious runs on the board, so can absolutely put in a performance each way at around that, I think it's sort of $9, $10 around the traps. So a bit of a forgotten horse there. Off what I thought was more than a pass mark, the return. Yep.
Beaten 3.
Date with the Devil for me, Mart, has got out to a nice price.
Yep.
I think it's a nice way to hopefully open the day.
So you're in the book. Race 1.
Race
Very
1.
Unusual behaviour.
It is very unusual behaviour for me.
Race 1, and he's with number 4, Date with the Devil. For Grant, what a big day they are setting up for themselves there on Saturday. Good luck with El Safina.
Before we get to race number 2, quickly get to a couple of these text messages. Is Mart back on the drink? Just want to know if he is before I follow his mail this week.
Good on you.
And take his tips on course to Ascot Saturday, spreading them as my own. He's been no good since going sober.
I agree. No, I'm with him. 100%. Who's that?
Jared from Scarborough.
Good on you, Jared. You've read me like a book.
Just wants an update on the peng while he's got us, please.
I can't find him. I think something dastardly may have happened to him.
Dastardly.
It was short in the market.
Fred from Freo's followed that up with, is the peng involved with the Tab Touch Igloo activation?
I should have asked. I should have asked Leah Tapper that yesterday.
Should thrive in his natural habitat.
Penny in the igloo. I should have put that together. That's the caller of the day. That is the clubhouse leader. Who was that? Fred of Fremantle.
Fred from Freo.
That's magnificent work, Fred.
That's rattled me. That's terrific stuff.
We might have to find a prize for you for that, Fred. That's outstanding work. Race number 2, the Whittens Irrigation and Design Handicap over the 2,200 metres. Time to go 4 past 1.
Are they still going? Are we sure?
Who, Whittens?
Yeah.
Have they retired?
They may have won that much money last week backing that horse.
Well, they're backing it up this week.
Ridden off into the sunset.
I Love Your Smile, 6 to 420. Choice Thinking, 650 to 750. Kerman Rock, he's 850. Soldanel out to 12. Lead by Example. Interesting, this 650 out to 9, back into 650. Come a little bit closer, 26 Spec. Jack and the Blacks out to 41. Lord Randolph, 245 around that mark. And Pagey's Turn is $21.
Lord Randolph, 1,500 at the 240 mark.
Yeah.
Ooh. What price is it now? I Love Your Smile, 600 at the 550, 600 at the 460. Whew. Lord Randolph, another 300 there at 235. Lead by Example, a bit of Eastern States Pro money when it did get out to that $9 mark, understandably there, 300 there. That's it.
No.
The old
distance
just
Plant the foot outside off stump, put the bat in the air.
big old half volley outside off stump, and I'm just saying, no, thank you. I'll let that one go. But, I Love Your Smile. I thought was going really well earlier this campaign, and it's just perhaps been a little bit plain at her last 2. This is the easiest race that she's seen for quite some time, I would have thought. Brad, Sean O'Donnell on board, first time, always a handy acquisition. But yeah, gee, $2.40, Lord Randolph. It's rock bottom, is it not?
I thought it was rock bottom last start in the midweek, and it got the job done.
Belted them too.
Yeah.
Watch it belt them on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
But
good luck to the owners too.
No interest.
Good on them.
Yep.
I thought Choice Thinking was a nice win.
Looks like to be a handy enough stay going forward, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, let's don't forget to Barbaro Butchers. Sad day out there at Barbaro's today. But the boys will be bouncing back moving forward. So Barbaro Butchers quaddie last week. How good did Scotty Gabler play that quaddie last week? He went 4 by 1 by 3 by 4, $48. And he stood out. No, sorry, he went 4 by 3 by 1 by 4, stood out West Star.
In the
Gutsy move. Loved it. I hope he did it himself because the quaddie paid about $900. Nice way of getting it.
Greg Earl says Choice Thinking the best of a bad bunch. And the Duffster's in.
With all due respect to owners and connections, of course, Greg L.
Duppy here.
Dup.
Didn't realise we had to listen to Lockie Taylor on Straight Up. Are you blokes asleep in the studio? He took a dip at me on the tweeter. I just kept pressing red with Let's Talk. Keen for the broken nose on the 15th. I've booked it off work so I can have a few red cordials. Can you just make sure Mart picks me up this time?
The Dumpster. Just give me the address. I'll pick you up.
Dangerous.
Race number 3, the Key Clean Handicap, 1,500 metres, 1:48 start time. And 1 Miss Sky High, 650 to 6. 2 Chalima, 343. 3 Done with the Blues, 15. And number 4 is Stormageddon. Around the $9 mark, it's easy. 5 Amjad is 480 in from 550. 6 B Bardot, 460 throughout. 7 Winning Chaflay is 14 into 11. 8 Zachariah Bow at 51. Belle Journey, 31. And Rock of Kahar, 101.
Look at me in the eyes, Mart.
I am.
Over the monitor. I know it's not an official meerkat, the 14 into 11 winning shuffle. Not an official, but fair income. There's been some
interest,
some cash.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good go nationally, including 250 each way, another 250 each way, another 300 each way, another 200 each way, and another 100 each way, all at the like 14, 13, sort of 12, 11. So pretty big go there. Chalima 1,000 at the 310, 900 at the 340, Amjad 500 at the 550. Friendless at this stage, the two Grant and Alana runners at this stage for Endless Smith Sky High and at B-Bado?
There's a bit in this race, Brad, isn't there? There's a bit in this one as he says goodbye and leaves the studio. No, he's back. Brad's back. Kalima is, I think, a deserving favourite. She was held up the entire length of the straight first up, despite being beaten under 2 lengths, Cosmic Crusader. And then last start just didn't get the same flowing run into the race from off the speed as the winner of that race in Watch Me Rock. She just had to pick up between runners and really savage the line late. I do like the placement here, back in class, up to 1,500 metres, the way that she got through the line late last start at the 14. She's got a low percentage racing pattern, Brad, but this is certainly the most suitable race that she's found this prep, and you'd have to say brings the strongest form to the table as well.
Yes, to some extent.
What's your knock?
Up to carrying that decent impulse and the 1,500 are just slight knocks. Just slight knocks. Nothing, obviously, we had it favourite for a reason, and I do concur with what you're saying, but I consider those slight knocks. Yeah,
they absolutely are. I think she's probably not at a backable price for me at the moment at the $3. I did have her on top. I've got big respect for Amjad, who has been super since joining Summer Dixon. Could just about work across to the top and lead here relatively unopposed, I thought, from a speed map perspective. And from that position, she's certainly going to give them something to run down. And then Winning Shuffle, I can understand the money for it. Gave 3.5 kilos to a pretty nice 3-year-old last start in Divine Impact, and they really cleared out on opposition. Golden Door back in third, beating a space. I thought ran a super race on Wednesday, and he maps for the run of the race, getting some weight relief, 2.5 kilos on last start. So he's going to get the right sort of run, Winning Shuffle, although he is up in class. But Kalima on top for me, not in the book, Mart. I think there's a bit of depth to this race, and Kalima still yet to win other than first up in her career to date as well.
It's one of yours, Mart, this sort of race.
Stormageddon?
Just okay last start.
Yeah.
Should get a good run.
Yep.
But I don't know, I just maybe expected a little bit more with the run he had last start, and it looks as though that Clint Johnston-Porter has hopped off for Winning Shuffle to my eye.
They might have wanted to claim.
Perhaps.
Just one of these races with just a few too many queries over it for mine.
Yeah.
And just in general, the entire race is one I'm just sort of going to watch and learn or attempt to learn.
You've been doing that for a while.
Attempting, yeah. B-Bado, one of yours, Mart. How do we forgive?
Well, obviously the market's forgiven her.
Is that just respect for the camp and pike and maybe what the horse has done before last start, which was just a bit plain, Rolf?
Yeah, it was.
That's a disturbing photo, isn't it? It's more disturbing. It's one of Peng, but the man behind Peng there, that is the disturbing side of it.
The Spencer man.
The great man. He's wearing a wig, isn't he?
Peng looks healthy there.
Might have been out of one of those Netflix docos you've been watching.
Yeah, dang.
Well, I know it's you can't see it, punters. We shouldn't do that, but
and we can't.
It's an in-house joke.
We can't put it on X either. We can't publish photos anymore.
We can't publish any photos of the Peng on X.
No. We go to Drummond Golf. They've been fantastic sponsors here, and not just in Perth racing, but here at Tab Radio. And we heard from Leah yesterday that they've done a little with them, and they're going to be in the Igloo playing golf
with Peng.
Sounds like Mark's chasing a new set. He's mentioned it enough.
Over the 1,800 metres.
Just another business on the payroll.
This is an interesting race, this.
No one has more
flight
side
with caution is $6. Decoration at $5. Did I say it's with Tab Touch? 3 Beats of War, 41. 4 Odinaka, 14 to 11. Cosmic Chaos, 20. Grand Reserve, 16. Royal Toronado. 460 to 310. That's a genuine meerkat. 460 was way over. Bellini Miss 11 into 10. Common Co's 26 to 20. Arcadia Knight is 13. Our Norman 151 and Rock and Wonder 11 into 8.
I didn't need this again either. Fly with Caution, 1,000 each way at the $6. Oh, I didn't need that again. 750 at the 650 as well. Rockin' Wonder, 900 places at the 340. Royal Toronado.
7.
Just let me clear my throat here, Mart. Royal Toronado. 600 at the 460, 600 at the 460, 300 at the 440, 300 at the 440.
That's the same, like just feeding through.
700 at the 390, 300 at the 390. Yeah.
One-way traffic.
They're the two.
Well, they are the two, aren't they? By the sounds of it. He's the best bet of the day for me.
Well, there you go.
Royal Toronado.
Yep.
I just think this is the race for him. He's flying. Pike back on. Gets a 2 kilo swing on Fly with Caution from last weekend. Just found himself in an impossible position, and the run in review was huge. He's charged home. I thought he's run the start prior over this distance. He was back in trip last weekend. He's run the start prior over this distance was enormous again. From where he found himself in running. I'm hoping that he can settle a bit closer to them with Pike going back on board, back up to 1,800 metres, finds a race with some strong tempo. I think he can turn the tables on the toppy, who I've got a lot of respect for as a racehorse. Fly with Caution, but I think that he looks to find a really suitable race. But there's certainly no gimme. Fly with Caution has really raised the bar whenever he's been asked to in his career to date as well. You'd anticipate, Brad, that he'll run 1,800 metres. Luke Campbell will employ similar tactics, you'd think, from that wide barrier to try and get across and into a position early.
Follow Rockin' Wonder across.
Yep. Rockin' Wonder gives the feel that Vic Corver will be willing to do whatever it takes to get him across into the front to lead, which should put some real pace in the race, drawn outside a horse like Decoration, who you know is going to park right over the speed, and he's just a tough horse, Decoration. He never lies down. Somehow didn't get that photo on opening day, thankfully. But, there's certainly a bit of depth to this race, but I just love how Royal Toronado gets to it. I think he's really well in.
I have to play devil's advocate here. I can't see Royal Toronado settling any closer for starters.
Then dead last?
Well, maybe second last, third last. That's its lot in life, I think. And the other thing I'll say is, was it much better than Bellini Miss?
Well, Bellini Miss came through them a little bit, didn't she? And he was around them.
I'll say yes.
But he was 18 back to 16. Going back to 18 is really going to suit Royal Toronado, isn't it?
It's really going to suit Bellini Miss and Barrier 2 with Brad Parnham on, I would have thought, as well.
It's a barrier horse. We've told our punters that.
Yep.
So I think the discrepancy there is too large for starters, and Decoration, tough on pacer. Obviously,
Be very hard to beat, Decoration.
It's a good little race.
It is a good
and
race.
How many times does Royal Toronado go to the well? That's my other question. Been up for quite a while now. The end has to come soon. But our punters disagree, obviously.
The only other thing with Royal Toronado too, 7 goes at the track for 1 placing.
That 1,800 does make it, can be quite tough to run on, although, as we've said, Ascot's been pretty fair this season. Just
a little question without notice. Pike, injured yesterday. Have we heard that he's definitely all good for Saturday?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mark Rolls. Have we factored that into some of our markets as well, the fact that Pikey may not be 100%?
I was listening to the boys on 7 Plus discuss it a bit earlier today, and I think the indication is that he is going to be okay for his rides on Saturday. But if that does change, then that certainly changes a fair few things, doesn't it, Mark? You'd have to factor that in, and it would certainly. I wouldn't be as keen on the horse, admittedly, if Pike is off and is replaced by someone else.
I reckon he'd be dead keen to play because sitting back watching he lost 3 winners there yesterday. And I know how much the Wizard likes those winners and $1. So he wouldn't have liked that too much. So I reckon he'll be doing his best to be riding on Saturday. Was it the same foot that he injured before?
I believe so. He's been managing an injury for a few months now.
Yeah.
You're a 50% chance of being right, Mark.
But
there was an incident in the barriers. I think he apparently got struck by a horse.
Yeah,
it's quite nasty. Yeah,
injured his foot in the barrier. So what are the boys doing with that in front of them, the bucket? Northern.
It's the Halloween bucket, mate.
Is
It's
it?
Halloween.
Oh, you young people like all that, don't you?
Yeah, we love it.
The Selangor Club Trophy.
There was
over
discussion
1,000
on the
metres.
Sports Daily this morning about Mark's Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
It was
I heard that,
very
actually.
humorous stuff.
That's the way
You'd
he
have a
just
few in the
wanders
cupboard, I
around
reckon,
in his
Mark.
jocks. That's his. And if they come in here, I ping up from the third floor down. Bang. Get away, you little rats.
You'd have a lollipop man
I
outfit.
bet.
You'd have a nurse's outfit.
1,000 metres, one Capital Flight 10 to 7, Ginger Green 61, the Boss Lady 9 to 850. Oh, the People's Champ 34 to 31, Halatorion. Capre Omnia is 26, Zing to win. Bit of a Goldfields Champ, $19. Joker's Grin, well, $1.60. Hang Glider 21, King's Honour 8 to 7, Selfless Act. Something you're well aware of at $26. Think about it.
Joker's Green 1,500 at the 150. So the market says you can have it again, champ, but we'd probably prefer you didn't, because it'll just be winning, won't it?
I think everyone's...
King's Honour Eastern States Pro Money there, 350 at the 750. Plenty of other chippy. Some Eastern States Pro Money there for Capital Flight there at the $9, and plenty of rank and file each way money for the Boss Lady as well.
I think everyone's excited to have Halatorian back at the races.
Oh, they are. Are they ever? Is there any flexibility on the Summer Scorcher,
In terms of...
the main aim for this
For
horse?
Joker's Green. Yeah.
Is there any flexibility, or
I
that
think
is set in stone?
I think that has-
without being harsh, it's a bit boring. I understand why you take the work him through his grades approach, but come on.
You've got a pretty nice slot race in April you can work your way towards.
Yeah,
nice
true.
and slowly.
True. That is true.
Look at Tricky Trevor.
Oh,
Isn't he
Trevor.
flying at the moment? Trevor Andrews.
Training winners at about
I'm a bit of a
40% at the moment.
I'm a
Trevor.
bit of a sucker for our traditional, the Group 1 races through the carnival. Your Railway, your Winterbottom, your Northerly. So I'd love to see him in it, but it won't be the case, unfortunately. But you'd think he'll be winning. You'd think he will be winning.
Thoughts on the trial, Mark?
Wow.
It's
Wow.
freakish.
Yeah.
I had to go and shower afterwards.
Yeah, you would have. What about Paddy on the point of the bend?
He's
Wow.
still lasted 200 to go,
Yeah.
and then you look up and he's
Gotta
2 lengths
say.
in front of him.
H King, the King. I love that. I love the broadcast. We should get up for the punters. They may not have heard it. It was world class.
It was Munamek-esque.
Well, I don't think it was that good, but it was up there in his own style. So it just wins. Yep. What about for the Quinella players? Who do you think could run second?
I have a huge opinion of the Boss Lady as a racehorse.
Mm-hmm.
She is a very good mare, Bradley.
Yes.
And I thought she
trialled
trialled very
great,
well.
yes. Yep.
I think if I had to have a Quinella bet, despite the fact that I think King's Honour gets a lovely setup, roller weight relief, lead on its own. Just don't know how genuine King's Honour is. I'm going to say Boss Lady and Joker's Grin would be... The Boss Lady and Joker's Grin would be the two for me.
Mart, at the risk of sounding a touch biased,
Yes.
at the risk, a slight risk of sounding a touch biased, I actually don't mind the People's Champ from a place perspective.
Good.
To fall into second or third.
Yep.
His first up run was vastly superior to his trials, and he comes to hand pretty quickly, and it's a nice setup for him.
Good. Tough.
Text has come through. Halatorian, exclamation mark, question mark. Have a glass of milk, Brad.
Right. They're at the
Somewhat
gates here.
disrespectful.
It is. Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Oh, I love it.
Do you have a name to that?
No.
Right.
No.
Updating.
This is the same bloke who sliced one off the 16th through the window last week.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
You left your browser history open.
Mr. Pro V1.
5 o'clock, and we got to keep things moving.
Yeah,
here
that was
because- Yeah, it was terrific. Sandy's me mum, what a champ. The Tap Touch Placid Arc Prelude, first leg of the Barbaro Butchers quad. Wind and the Line, we've been waiting. 3 to 275. Sinful Living is 5 to 440. Catch Carter 7. Repossession 7 to 650. Skullbone and Pig $15. Maddie Girl is 12. Golden Vale 16 to 13. Golden Kathleen 17 to 14. Arduette 51 to 34. At Your Service 51.41. 101 to 81. Boudoir Bell.
Some great out wide money early. Golden Kathleen, a couple of hundred each way a few times there. Same with Repossession. Wind in the Line, 300 there at the 275. Catch Carter, 500 at the $6. Golden Vale, 200 each way at the $14. Sinful Living there, 500 at the $5. Good little spread of money. Probably fair to say that Wind in the Line hasn't seen that level of financial support that we expected to this stage, Rolls.
Well, he's a very exciting horse, isn't he, Brad?
Indeed.
That debut was something, and the trials leading in have been very good. It's just the tactics with him here are going to be very interesting from the barrier, and you anticipate that from 10. What do you do with him from there, Brad? Because for me, it does look pretty sticky.
Do you just hope to get him 3 wide with cover?
I think that's probably best case scenario. Look, if he draws a gate, I think he's $2 chance.
Yep.
$1.80, $1.90 even. But yeah, if they are ripping along and you get posted deep, covering extra ground, first run of the prep, has accepted or nominated and not accepted on a couple of occasions in previous weeks. I just think, I don't know how I'm going to play this race. I just think it gives a similar vibe to not West Star. Yeah, West Star. To West Star in the first race, the Max Simmons, who was dictated to by the barrier. You've got a grand final further down the track. You're just happy to go back and hopefully look for that card up in that 3 wide line and hit the line. A win is a bonus sort of areas with this horse. You'd love to see some $3 plus, which he may do late. I think he's comfortably the best horse in the race. The barrier just puts me off a bit.
Excited to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe an each way bet on a horse like maybe a Repossession as it continues to drift or something. I think it's got plenty of talent. Just a horse that looks maybe like it's mapped a little bit better.
The each way bet for me in the race would be Catch Carter. I thought that was a superb win last start with the shades on, back to the 1,000, running down Magnique. Should have won by further. Was absolutely bolting when held up, looking for a split at the top of the lane, and he just maps for a terrific run once again with the tactical speed he showed there last start from the barrier. He's drops 4.5 kilos off his back from that win as well. I thought it was a really nice performance. And say we see a scenario where Wind in the Lions backed in to a shorter quote than what he's currently at, I'd be happy to back Catch Carter each way in this race as well.
Yep.
Skullbone and Pig. Obviously, Lukey is using this as his trial.
One to follow on whatever he does here, Mart. Nice horse.
Yep.
Thought he was very good on debut behind September Born and will only get better once he gets out over a bit further, you would think.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to do too many things right to be a sneaky in this.
No.
But I'm with you guys. I'm really excited to see Wind in the Line and what he'll do first up. Chris, normally when he draws wide is sort of negative out of the gates, isn't he?
Yep.
His first play?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Defensive, yeah.
I would say that's fair.
Which almost have to be in this scenario.
Well,
bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. If you chance there's just so many horses. There's speed underneath. You'd suggest Repossession fires out. Sinful Living, Boudoir Bell from 11. I'm not sure what they'll do there, but she's very quick. Catch Carter will hold a spot
as well. Yeah.
Golden Vale.
Maddie Girl can hold a spot.
Yeah. You run the risk of having a tough run first up in a high pressure 1,000 metres with bigger targets down the line. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get cracking into these. This is the Barbaro Butcher's second leg of the quad. Red Can, and of course it is, the Tab Touch, Prince of Wales Stakes over the 1,000 metres, 19 past 4 start time. Red Can Man is $12. 2 Maraschino, 61 spec'd in. Saloon Bar, $3.70. Snowdome, 7 to 5.50. Boots Like Bruce, $6.50. Thomas Magnum, $23. Catalpa, $101. Bravo Centurion, 330 into 235. And Kripalenko, you beauty, $15.
Did it just get breezy in here, Mark?
What do you think? How many big bets?
What price do you want?
Oh, you don't want it now, not 235.
Bravo Centurion, Mart. 1,100 at the 290, 1,100 at the 290, 1,000 at the 330, 1,500 at the 240. Snowdome, 500 at the $6 and 400 at the $7. Boots Like Bruce, 500 at the 650. Eastern States Pro Money, Maricino. Over to you, Ross.
Yep, that's fair enough too. As much as I love what Bravo Centurion's been doing in this race under weight for age conditions, he looks well found at the 235.
Some would use the term rock bottom.
Yes, it's fair to say. I'm pretty keen here, Mart. Snowdome won this race first up, no trial last year, and for mine has been a horse over the journey who has done his best work on the fresh side. I love the run he's going to get, drawing the inside barrier, stalking Bravo Centurion, who I expect to give a really strong kick on straightening and allow Brad Parnham the room to work off his back and into the clear with Snowdome. And I'm hoping he can go back to back. And the $5.50 for a proven weight for age 1,000-metre sprinter on offer is more than enough for me to have a bet. So I'm with Snowdome in the Prince of Wales. Saloon Bar has to be a huge chance off his run in the Crawford, but he is a horse that needs a lot to go right with his racing pattern. He gets 1.5 kilos on Bravo Centurion for a 0.2 of a length defeat in that race. I think he'll go close with Clear Air if he can stay in touch with them, and looks the one I'm most worried about. But $5.50, happy to have a bet with Snowdome.
The one that could get me as it continues to drift is Saloon Bar.
Yep.
Otherwise, probably just happy to watch. It's an intriguing race. Not sure where Snowdome's at. Obviously, you can take as a pretty good sign of intent, the current setup, and I'll have to chase down a pretty sharp one in Bravo Centurion, won't it?
Seems as though off this text line that every man and their dog backed Fly with Caution last weekend.
Well, maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
I didn't get the mail.
No, I didn't either.
Didn't he start $18?
Yeah.
It's not exactly a plunge. It's
Street
not
corner tip.
Yeah. Drifted back out
It
again
happens sometimes, yeah.
Brad, would you like... One of our listeners has offered to fix your window after the slicey...
And clean my pool.
Slice McDice from last week. Is weight really an issue, boys, for Bravo Centurion over 1,000 metres?
Probably not as much as it would be over further. It'll be interesting to see that 1.5 kilo turn with Saloon Bar here, what it does do in the race, because Saloon Bar was 14 back to 1,000. You can get away with that. Might now want more. I know I'm not going to doubt trainers and all that sort of thing. I think you guys half poo-pooed me when I threw Saloon Bar out in its last race.
I may have given him the full poo-poo.
Oh, really?
A half poo-pooing.
It was well. Nelly, I was poised, ready to go when it loomed.
He had the text message
Don't worry.
typed. He had the text message typed out.
Just didn't send it.
I've copped a few. Did you like that, champion? So it's just come through.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's what you like to get on that come through on your phone when you got a race on.
Bravo, he could well go on and just go to weight for age and win it.
Yep.
1,000 metres.
Wouldn't surprise me. I just think he's under the odds.
Yeah, and Sea Breeze in may not be leaders, but it's 1,000 metres, not as drastic the impact. Hose Masters, Asian Beau Stakes over the 1,400 metres, and Mood Swings 26, Super Smink $3, Zip Away 8, Triple Missile first up 23, Massimo 61, Admiration Express 23, Aztec Ruler 21, Spec, Brave Spirit 14 to 12, Diamond Scene 12 to 9.50, Laced Up Heels 23, Love and War $14, Mojo Rhythm 23, Ollie's Choice 17, Rusty Dreams 20, and Yonga Lass $6.
Oh, Yonga Lass. Butch.
Yes.
Diamond Scene, 700 places at the 375, if you don't mind. Some pro money there too, 300 at the 850. Rusty Dreams, 500 at the $19. Plenty of Rankin file money starting to build up for Super Smink. Younger Lass, 400 at the 650, 400 at the 6, 500 at the 6. Where there's smoke, Mart.
Yep.
Great race. Really good race. Super Smink is very much a deserving favourite. Her first 2 runs this campaign, Brad, have clearly signified Dan Morton's got her back to her best. She draws a barrier finally, more importantly. While she has drawn a barrier, but with her gate speed, I don't expect her to necessarily hold a strong position. I think she'll still be midfield with cover or potentially even a tad worse than. It just allows her to not get as far back as she has been, excuse me, in her races. She was unequivocally the run of the race in the Eurythmic. Chris Parnham jumps back aboard for the first time this campaign, and he's been aboard for all 4 of her career wins to date. That's always a positive. It looks her race on paper. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't always pan out that way, does it, Brad? And you could make a genuine case for a number of these, particularly Zip Away, fresh, loved his trials, loved what he's done in his career to date, midfield run, blending into the race. While I do think there will be some improvement left in him on whatever he does on the weekend, I still expect him with the right run to go very close.
I'm with you. I'm just a bit concerned that expecting this to be the pipe opener for the railway, just that little get him spot on for the big Group 1 race over the mile. So, but yeah, I share your sentiments there, Ross.
And also just quickly on who knows what sort of level Younger Lass can get to. I loved her trials. She's a dynamite fresh mare. Gets in on the minimum. Pike from barrier 1, just cuddled up with a soft run, waiting to pick his way through on a mare who there isn't a lot of her, so I like the fact that she has a lightweight and she's got an electric turn of foot, as we know, on her day.
Has Butchie's declaration come through on the text line?
No, it hasn't yet, Butch, so we're still waiting for that, but you only need to go back to that. What was the win that went viral back in December last year where she found herself at the top of the straight and where she was able to win by 3/4 of a length at the finish? So she's an interesting runner, isn't she, Brad?
Yeah, 100%. There's a few more. We could talk about this whole field, couldn't we? But a horse like Diamond Scene, that was an incredible return. And Mart may have whispered that it was going to do that. And he didn't even trumpet afterwards, so well played, Mart. Love and War, very excited to see what this horse can offer back at the race as a 4-year-old. And all his choice, and expecting a good run from it.
So it's not wasn't it?
Yeah, at 1,000 metres, which is a bit confusing, but this is it's actually a pretty decent setup for this horse, really, from that gate. Can just settle a bit handy. It's a bit of a sticky one, Rolls, in regards to the map for a few of these horses, isn't it?
I hope he runs well, Ollie's Choice, because I was getting poo-pooed for putting him in my top 5 power rankings on that other podcast that we won't mention. So
it's an interesting race. So the Asian Beau is normally a handicapper's way to get into the railway, right? So Zip Away at 100's already in. Would he not go through the Wait for Age, the normal path for that? So he's going this way, then it's 3 weeks into the railway from there, isn't it?
It tells me maybe they just want to keep him slightly on the
fresher side to be 3 weeks in. So that would suggest that maybe $8 could be his right price. So those horses, say from Brave Spirit down,
who's not impossible,
are the ones that need to win this race to get in.
Yep.
So you're talking Diamond Scenes, the Love and Wars, the Rusty Dreams, the Younger Lass, the Brave Spirits, Laced Up Heels, all of them.
Or they go again to the Peters
or
in
they
a couple
go
of weeks
and try
time.
and get through in the Peters.
And then back up.
So is that the way you're going to look at it, or you think the winner's going to be up the top, already in there? And if you go and have a look at them, well, what if you take Zip Away out of it? It's Super Smink. She's already in at 100. But she's had those 2 runs in, hasn't she? I think they'd be keen for her to win this, to get that win on the board.
It is the one you look at and you go, grand final day, probably closest to it. the real. I think everyone's done the form for the race. It's the first one they circle, isn't it, Ross? Super smink.
Yeah, and I had her on top too, but not as short as she is currently.
Yeah,
and the value for me with the way the market currently situates itself is Zip Away, but very, very hesitant for all the reasons that we've mentioned in terms of him still having that little bit of improvement left on whatever he does on the weekend heading to his grand final, the Railway. And
we've seen it happen so many times over the years, and Bob could produce one of those like a Love and War first up. Just a, Diamond Scene. It's another. These down there have got to either win, and Yonga Lass is in that boat as well. Did I hear Grant somewhere say it might be coming up too quickly for her this year's Railway? Or did I read that?
I must have missed that interview if it was said. I just know when we spoke to him, Marty, I think it was, that he said we have some pretty lofty ambitions with her.
They're in the yard for this next event at Northam, so let's wrap it up. We got a bet in the Asian Beau Stakes, sponsored by Hose Masters.
Super Smink gets out to sort of 350, 360 plus. That'll be me, I think, Marty.
Gee, if you knew Zip Away was nailed down and ready to go at $8, wow, that'd be salivating.
Still be happy to back it each way, knowing that it should still
it could still first up get him at 1,400. Yep. Mrs. Max, wow, I've had an affair with her for a long time over the 1,200 metres. And one Live to Tell is 11 to 10. El Salto's out to 91. Esprit Garçon, $464. Melcar Pindari, 7 to 6. Tycoon Harry's 26. Keep Attack, what the hell? $8 to $4.80.
Here he is.
Laquetta's Gift, 41. Madam Kisses, 21. Catch These Hands, 81. Noteworthy, 20. Woburn Gold is 10 to 9. Regal Statue 11 to 7.50 thrown out on this program before its last start win, and 14 Miss Flirtatious at $17.
One of our texters has messaged in that Grant said those comments about Keshi Boom, not
it was Keshi Boom. Okay, there you go.
And Butchie has weighed in. Good to hear from you, Butch. No declaration here, just happy to be in an Asian Beau. Last time I was in one, I was strapping Double Dignity in 1992.
Double Dignity, yeah.
If Yonga happens to salute, you will be hearing from me.
I didn't know where he was going when he was talking about Asian Beaux there for a minute, but anyway, I get it now. Double Dignity.
Keep Attacking, 1,200 places at the 270, 500 wins at the 550, 300 early wins there at the $6, 400 wins at the 480. Esprit Garçon, 700 at the 420, 600 at the 460, 500 at the 420. Woburn Gold, 300 at the 9, 300 at the 9. Regal Statue, 300 at the 9. Melcar Pindari, 300 at the 7. Someone's got in there as it got out to a very nice price. Yeah, good little book. Punters circling a few there, Rolls.
Yeah, it's a great race to finish. No doubt about that. Esprit Garçon, I'm expecting real improvement from with that tough run on opening day under the belt. Drew wide, 3-4 wide without cover throughout, but still really trucked up to them on straightening like he was going to win the race before he just peaked very late. The concussion plate goes on the front. They might just be having a few little lingering feet issues with him, perhaps, which is why I'm not as keen as I wanted to be.
The tongue tie as well.
Yeah. I feel inclined to stick. His trial before that first up run was just so enormous. He raced in the bar shoe fresh, and trialled in the bar shoe, so that's not an issue. But you do have a slight concern as maybe he's picked up another little niggle on the way. I think they'll look at riding him a bit quieter, and I do think he still has the ability to win this race, but and finish over the top of them if he's within 2-3 lengths on straightening. But yeah, you just have those little lingering question marks, don't you, Brad, with those gear changes?
Yeah, it's something that obviously points to the fact that not all is perfect, probably with the horse, doesn't it? So,
is he still good enough to overcome it and win?
Well, still nothing wrong with that first up run, was there?
No, beaten a length, and it's been a hot form race since, hasn't it?
It has indeed. Might miss Vasari's scratch, so there'll be deductions there.
Mm-hmm.
Big deductions.
Massive. She was 50 to 1. Interesting race in the regards to the speed profile roles. So Miss Flirtatious probably looks your leader, maybe from Tycoon Harry. Those are the sort of the only two pace influences in the race that I could find.
Miss Flirtatious gets a very nice setup from that regard, you'd think, Brad.
And so the way I'm reading this race is that where Malcar Pindari is likely to be maybe midfield on the fence, maybe a better spot than those horses that have to come wide, depending on the conditions. It might be really messy and bunchy out there, and the sprint might go on at the wrong time. So it might work out really well for Malcar Pindari, but the market disagrees.
Yep, I agree. She just... How her run first up and where she found herself at the 600, she was 3 lengths last, detached from the second last horse, and how close she got at the finish. It was quite an incredible run, and yeah, if she does get gaps on the way through, she's going to be picking them up late or going 2 to their 1. Would have loved to have seen Woburn Gold draw a barrier. Brad, with her tactical speed, thought her return through that same race as Esprit Garçon was super, but likely dictated to again, unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Best bets on the card. Riley, you start off. You're getting it early.
I think I was originally hadn't had him as a best bet, but race 1, number 4, Date with the Devil, has got out to a very backable price, I think, in the opener. Sticking with the same stable in race 4, Royal Tornado. And race 7 in the Prince of Wales, I am with Snowdome.
I agree with you gentlemen, race 1, Date with the Devil, but also Tony's Spirit. They will be getting me Bellini Miss, race 4 each way, Mart.
Yes.
Zipway each way, race 8, and race 9, Malcar Pindari each way.
Beautifully done. I'm with the Date with the Devil, also Royal Tornado and Save on Bellini Miss. Little Quinella play there as well. That is it for Barbaro Butchers today. Get those. How they been, Manny?
There's been plenty.
Right, remember we've got a screenshot there.
And Duppy gets very angry with me when I don't read his texts out.
Right.
So I better keep him happy. Race 4, Bellini Miss each way. Race 6, Maddie Girl each way. Race 8, Super Smink. And race 9, Esprit Garçon for the
Dubster.
Triple D.
He's
WW
starting to
Dubster.
become the new Brad of Maylands, isn't he? The Dubster. Thanks to Barbaro Butchers. You can head out there. Barbaro Small Goods, they are the best. They got voted Australia's best ham for their semi-boneless leg ham. Family owned and operated since 1987. And go and support your local business. And look for their small goods at your local independent deli and grocer. That is Barbaro Butchers out there in Cockman Road, Greenwood. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed another stimulating episode of Straight Up. All betting markets supplied by Tab Touch. All care, no responsibility went into the production of today's podcast.